Hello, everyone. My name is Seema Putyapurail, and I lead and manage the partner engineering team at Snap. And with me, I have Hunter Rice. Hunter, welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Seema, thanks so much for having me. My name is Hunter Rice. I'm the founder of Sendit.
Beautiful. So, to start off, I would love to know what is your favorite part about Snapchat? Do you have a favorite lens?
Yeah, what I most like about Snapchat is just the community as a whole.
Mhm.
And I love the idea of getting closer to your best friends through the Snapchat product and all the tools it has to offer. When we first launched our integration with dynamic lenses, I worked with Phil Walton, who's one of the all-time great Snapchat OLCs, to develop a lens called This or That. It's kind of like a would you rather game where your friends give you two options to choose from, and then you select your choice. This or That was probably the first mainstream interactive AR lens. It racked up over 1 billion impressions in its first month, and it's just an absolute icon at this point. So yeah, that one's definitely my go-to.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite lenses too. And it's so playful and allows you to play with your friends. Can you tell us a little bit more about Send It and why you chose to build on top of SnapKit?
Yeah, so to give you some background, about 2.5 years ago, I was poking around with this idea of how to more seamlessly spark conversations with friends. Send It actually started out as this simple Q&A feature for your Snapchat stories, which went super viral, took us to number one in the App Store within a couple months. And because of that quick burst, we had this foundation of about 1 million users to really study their habits and understand how they were interacting with each other. And today, that little feature has evolved into what's now the largest platform to discover and launch AR games. And these are really fun, engaging augmented reality lenses that you can play with your best friends or your favorite creators right on Snapchat. So the way it works is you open up Send It, you discover a game that you want to play, you launch it right onto your Snapchat camera, post it to your story. Your friends can respond. Uh, those responses appear on the Send It app, and then it just starts the loop over again. So it's really just a fun and engaging way to interact with your Snapchat friends.
Absolutely. And, for me, Snapchat is really about all of my best friends being there on the app. And I think Send It takes that to the next level. I know you mentioned that you started building with dynamic lenses, but I do know that you use a lot of parts of SnapKit. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Like what parts of SnapKit do you use and, what approaches did you take?
Yeah, well, we really built the core of Send It around Creative Kit, um,
Mhm.
but we did launch with both Creative Kit and Logging Kit. And distribution was our top priority, and we knew that Creative Kit was key to unlocking that. When I think about UX, my main objective is to get users to take an action in the fewest possible steps. So in this case, it's sharing out to your Snapchat story. And the same goes for new users. So fewer steps equals less drop off and more people sharing to Snap. So a solution for one tap login, especially when it comes with your Snapchat identity, your Bitmoji, etc., it just made a lot of sense for us. Yeah, so
Yeah, love that. Tell us a little bit about your team. What does your team like? Where do you guys work out of? And I know you guys have limited resources. So what was it like? What was it like to build all of this with limited resources?
yeah, we're a small team. We're based here in Santa Monica, and I think we're all sort of I call us professional bootstrappers. We know how to stay scrappy, and we like to build fast and iterate quickly. And I think we've done a great job of doing that and just continuing to serve our users.
Totally. And the success that you've had on the platform is amazing. We've loved to watch you grow in your journey. I know you also made it to the top of the App Store. What was that like?
Yeah, we were definitely spending most of the time putting out fires and making sure our servers were still alive. One afternoon we started out at like 100 signups per minute, and every few minutes my partner David would scream, "We're at 200," and then 300 and 400. I think our peak was like 500 downloads a minute, so it was crazy. But it's always a great feeling to know you've built something that's resonating well with your demo. But that said, as a startup, we know about the peaks and valleys, so it was just important that we stayed focused and just continue to build as usual.
Absolutely. And I also know that, you use dynamic lenses. You were one of our first adopters, but also one of our best adopters. It kind of marries the best parts of Snapkit and Snapchat on your app. So tell us a little bit about that. What was it like to use dynamic lenses, and how did that play into your audience growth?
Yeah, we initially pitched the idea of interactive lenses to Alston and the Snapkit team a couple years ago. And the objective for us was to experiment with ways to continue to build around our core interaction in a more engaging way. And I think we had a clear vision for what this was going to look like. I don't know if you remember this, but you and Alston had us over at the office one day and walked us through your implementation of dynamic lenses. And I just couldn't keep a smile off my face because I knew it was going to be the perfect for what we wanted to accomplish. And then from there, we immediately started building out our first few lenses. And then a couple weeks later, we got the docs, and it only took us about a day to get the first one up and running. So it was really quick. And then, yeah, within our first month of launch, I think we saw a billion impressions plus, over 1 million iOS app downloads. And I think we were ranked top 10 apps in at least 10 countries. So it was great.
Well, I have to say congratulations. It has been absolutely amazing to watch you grow from strength to strength. For us, we would love to know what we could offer you next. What is something that we could build next that would excite you?
Yeah, I think you guys have been doing an incredible job so far. And I think what I'm most excited about is watching how the Snap ecosystem evolves as a whole, and how it begins to play a key role in building any company. For example, companies today will have web products to accomplish one thing, a desktop application for another, and then a native app for something completely different. But they all feed off of each other in some way. And I see Snapchat becoming this critical distribution channel that every company will need to build for in the future. I think we're seeing a glimpse of this now with minis. For example, Headspace took one core feature from their product and now offers that inside of chat, which is super unique from any of their other products. So I'd like to see Snapkit continue to build these tools with that mentality and push their partners forward, because I really do believe that our success is their success and vice versa.
I couldn't have put that better. I would say that your success is our success, and we absolutely measure our happiness based on that. So thank you for saying that. And with that, I would really like to thank you for being here with us and sharing everything from how Sendit was developed to where you're going next. I can't wait to see what you come up with next. Thank you so much for being here with us, Hunter.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome.